Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in once again to the Duval Dive. Of course, I am Kyle Nash, the student of the game.
And I'm Travis Holmes with BigCatCountry.com.
And you're listening to this thing on the Believe Podcast Network. And this fine-hatted man in the middle. If you don't know Ben Troupe, friend of the show by now, I can't help you. But Troupe, I got to tell you, there was a special inspiration from the Duval Divers. We had to bring you in for this particular piece. Shouts to Shoe the Weeb. I don't know what that means, and I don't know if I want to find out. But on Blue Sky, we had this question submitted. What are the odds of the AFC South being the best division next season? In Troupe, if we're going to walk through the AFC South, we got to have somebody else outside of the Duval about to have that conversation, and we thought of you immediately. So thanks for coming in, brother.
Immediately.
Man, thanks for having me. I feel like a part of. I feel like I'm truly a part of the brotherhood now. First time I come on, you be like, will they have me back? I think this is the third or fourth time. So look, to your other guests that come on, y'all don't see what I have to deal with on X. They be like, well, Ben, man, maybe you ain't as good as you think you are. You're a hater, you're a troll, and I'm back. And it's February. So hey man, a couple of days removed from Valentine's Day. So the trolls out there, you're welcome. You're welcome.
What can he say except you're welcome? And
I did not think he was going to the February. That man said it's Black History Month too.
I'm just saying, man. I mean, I'm just saying I have officially been hacked on X. I don't know who this person is, sir. You need to get a life. You hacked me for what? Like
that just means you made it, Troupe.
I guess, man. But then I really got to go back in the back of House of X and really see how to get my account back. I'm like, do I really want to go through all this, man? Like, I would try to get it back, but hey, I have been hacked twice. So maybe I became official. Didn't have a blue check, but I officially became somebody in 2025. And that's what I had to deal with. People like, Ben, you selling crypto? Do it look like I sell crypto? That is not me, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
I mean, I'm glad that you find the humor in it, my man. I'll
it's all good, man. I'm blessed, man. If hacking me is gonna make somebody day, if I got added to the hack list, hey, current NFL players are getting robbed. So you know what I'm saying? If you want to hack me, it's all good. It's all good.
But listen, let's get right into it with breaking down the AFC South such that it is. And I know we're going to go a lot of different directions, but you know what? I think I'm going to start with your Titans here. I'm making the call as the host here, right? Because let me tell you, it's going to start with Mike Vrabel. I know. Oh my gosh, look at the host, trying to get the clickbait content, bringing up Mike Vrabel. But hear me out. This isn't just a slam and anything about, oh, look, they're justified that they shouldn't have fired Mike Vrabel yet. Here's what I think's happening. With Vrabel's departure, now granted, people were all like, oh my gosh, the Patriots didn't have it easy. Why was Vrabel so good? Well, you might remember he turned around the Tennessee Titans with a quarterback in Ryan Tannehill. That was, I'll say, similar to Drake May in a lot of ways, right? So what I think is going on is they're looking for that type of coach that's no nonsense, business first, bringing in Robert Saleh to kind of toughen things up. And I think it's an opportunity for Saleh to have a better situation than he definitely did with the New York Jets. And I think there's hope in history in that they get that new tough coach coming in, that team gets turned around. I think Saleh, from that standpoint, going that direction, brings the Titans hope with Cam Ward. Perhaps they upgrade some protection to get him going. Is that the kind of situation where you could see that happening? Because it reminds me a bit of the Jags improving in some ways on Tennessee's front.
I like that. I'll go a different direction.
Okay.
I'll go a different direction. Okay. When you look at what the best teams are doing in the Super Bowl, let me preface this. I am not saying the Titans are a Super Bowl contender in no way, shape, or form.
Nor are you saying that the Patriots are the best team, because they clearly are.
No, I'm not saying that either. But this is what I am saying. Robert Saleh, Coach Saleh-led, I hope I'm saying his name right. Mm-hmm. This is what he's thinking. If I can give my quarterback a top 10 defense, he doesn't have to win it for us. He can, because here's the thing about Cam Ward, right? Here's the thing about Cam Ward. He wasn't even in consideration for Rookie of the Year with what he had to deal with. He wasn't even because he's not going to win it. He wasn't even in consideration. The only reason you watched the Titans in 2025 was Cam Ward. Maybe DK. I get DK with the first team out, and Jeffrey Simmons. Like the thing about it is, when you talk about this Titans team, you say, I need a coach that has been a coach before, but it was the Jets. I want a guy, because let's face it, sometimes you go from head coach to coordinator, depending on how you look, you're not getting no more head coaching opportunities. And he got another one. And he looked around saying, where can I find success quicker? When I say success, I don't mean winning the division, but it's how we look out there. So for me, the key was you get Coach Brian Daboll. You bring in a guy who has been a head coach, because if you notice, former head coaches want to bring in head coaches as their coordinators. I want guys that can help me make decisions, man. I don't want to have to. Tennessee, it's not a huge media market. They're getting a new stadium. Cool. That's the host of Super Bowl. They ain't gonna be in it. So I think for me, when I think this Titans team, they're saying, dude, listen, if I can get a defense that can keep an offense, 15 to 18 points a game, average, and I can score 21 a game, I can win more than I lose. I'm not saying that it's going to be the recipe, but Trav, I know you are. I can see them.
I let y'all go with these shenanigans for a little bit. I gave y'all some.
I'm gonna tell you why. I guarantee you this. If we're being honest, they asked Coach Saleh. They said, when you look around the AFC South, who's the best quarterback? Oh, it's Trevor Lawrence. Who's the quarterback that can be beat? Oh, you can beat CJ, but you can't beat that defense. I can beat CJ Stroud. Him, sure. I could beat him, but I can't beat that defense. What about Indy? They're pretenders. Indy will not be good until they find a franchise quarterback. They're not going to be good down the line. Do you remember when Jonathan Stewart was an MVP candidate? They thought he was going to go for 2,000 yards. People didn't even talk about it down the stretch. So what I'm saying is,
so wait, to confirm, you're saying that Daniel Jones is not a franchise, the guy that they're negotiating with at this current moment in time is not a franchise quarterback or not a leader of this team. Am I mistaken?
The same Daniel Jones that was the same Daniel Jones that told Coach Brian. Think about this too. You don't hold on for a second. Yes, they're gonna. Would you put Daniel Jones in the same category as Sam Darnold right now?
No.
So hold on. So we got. You remember the franchise quarterback used to look a certain way. Now it's tiers, right? We got tiers, right? All I'm saying is, right there, he made that front office look good. But Brian Daboll said, dude, I know that dude. Y'all don't think he came to the AFC South because he know who over there in Indy? I know that dude, man. I can show y'all how to beat that dude. Because, like I said, the most respect in the AFC South goes to the Jags. People are not afraid of Houston. They are afraid of Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter and Petrie. That's who they are afraid. Ain't nobody scared of CJ. And all I'm saying is, for the Titans got to get out of rebuild mode and get to reload mode. As long as there are people that's been rebuilding on their house for 20 years. That roof still leaking. I'm just saying, when I think about the Titans, I'm saying Coach Saleh said, dude, I want to go somewhere where I can first compete, build the culture, and then we win. You don't believe me? Liam Cohen had what on his team? I got veterans everywhere. Running back, veteran. Quarterback, veteran. Book in outside linebackers, veterans, right? Devin Lloyd, I mean, people just forgot about him like he's a slut. I'm just telling y'all.
So the Jaguars did a very good job at raising the floor with those veterans. None of them were top of the market guys. None of them were guys who you were going to write home about or you were going to rave about as far as being day one free agents.
I was prepared for them to part ways with Devin Lloyd, for example.
Filling a lot of holes with those veterans. And then in the draft, they tried to go with guys who was going to kind of raise that ceiling. They did a smart
Parker Washington made you forget about Parker Washington made you forget all about De'Ami Brown and Brian Thomas.
De'Ami Brown made you forget about De'Ami Brown. Let's be clear.
Hold on. Think about this. Listen, the guy that used to play for the Jaguars that will go unnamed that came over to the Titans to be our number one receiver. I'm not even going to say his
name. Kirk. Yeah.
No.
We are per Kirk.
Not Christian Kirk.
Calvin
Kirk came over to the Titans.
Oh, the Titans. I thought. I'm sorry, Houston versus the Titans. My apologies. I get confused about all these other receivers that keep leaving Jacksonville to go to other AFC South teams.
Because at the end, I'm just saying when we are talking about the AFC South, we are talking about a division that is so disrespected. People ask me, they said, Ben, you think the AFC South is better than the NFC South? And I said, I'm a Falcons fan. Yes. They are way better than the NFC South. It's just the fact that you got 4 teams that aren't big market like teams. And I think the thing about it is the oddball out is not the Titans. It's the freaking Colts. I don't think the Titans are the oddball out.
I'm gonna push you back. I'm gonna push back a little bit on that one. On that one, if you don't mind. Only because I think the Colts are always going to. The Colts are probably what the Tennessee Titans aspire to be right now, from where they are. Like, I think the Colts are a foundationally sound team who generally will punch you in the mouth just because they have that stout. They got that stout interior defensive line. They're generally
in a lot of places. Yeah.
Right. They're generally like fine in a lot of spots. They just don't have the athletes to truly win games, and they definitely didn't have the guys who were like ready mentally as far as like Cam Ward, as far as that's concerned, and they didn't have the skill guys really in that way.
And the quarterback, they had to ask Uncle Phil to play, right?
So from my perspective, it feels a lot like the Titans have a ways to go, but they absolutely are the North Star as it currently stands until you see it on the field is truly trying to be like the Indianapolis Colts, because the Indianapolis Colts with an injury-free 2026 put a real big monkey wrench in this whole division. Like, that's a legitimate concern that I can say from a perspective of a Jaguars media, beat writer, but also a Jaguars fan. And even from the Houston Texans point of view, especially, you already talked about how much you don't trust CJ Stroud. All right, cool. Then that means that the Colts, if they were an injury-free team with their Sauce Gardner, with that defense, with with JT, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, with Daniel Jones running that ball and everything else, not passing it, but running the ball definitely, they have a legitimate shot to being a game over 500 nearly every season, and that's always going to make them competitive. And that's what the Tennessee Titans aspire to be, from my perspective.
I mean, you make a good point, but here's the thing, right? Let's just switch it for a second. Let's just say Cam Ward. Just say Indy had the worst record. Cam Ward's go to Indy. Daniel Jones goes to the Titans, right? In the free agent, they have Spears, everything, and everything is going, and they fall off a cliff. Do you know how long that's going to set the Titans back? If what happened to start the season and how they ended it. Because here's the thing about Indy, right? This is what I feel about Indy. Until they get a real, true franchise QB, not a guy that had a good season, not a guy that just had a good season, and they go, you're going to reward Daniel Jones. I think he's earned that. I'm not saying that. But here's what I'm saying. If I said Daniel Jones versus CJ, you're gonna pick CJ. Daniel Jones versus Trevor Lawrence, you're gonna pick Trevor. Daniel Jones versus Cam.
Wait. Don't breeze over that. Don't breeze over that. Let's talk about it.
You will pick Daniel Jones over Trevor Lawrence. I'm not.
No. I'm not asking that, but I'm asking a question that I feel like needs to be asked. If you don't mind me, just humor me for a second. Would you pick CJ Stroud over Trevor Lawrence? Not just based on this year, just based on their career right now. I have to ask the question.
You're changing the conversation, but okay.
No.
I know.
I wouldn't pick CJ Stroud over Trevor Lawrence for this reason. I've never known how good CJ Stroud was because of the supporting cast. I just never knew how good. Trevor Lawrence has to be good for the Jags to be good. CJ Stroud just don't got to be bad. Because think about this. If CJ Stroud went into the playoffs, and they told him, just don't be bad. And he was real bad. They said, just won't be bad. When's the last time somebody said, hey, bro, just don't be bad and we good? And he didn't listen.
Whoa.
And think about this. If Bo Nix doesn't get hurt, they might win the Super Duper. Because he's not going to be bad.
Yeah.
And all I'm saying is there are coaches around the AFC South saying we need to get our team to a point to say, just don't be bad, and we can win. And that is a winning strategy. When I say don't be bad, here's why I say that. Do you know how disrespectful it is to bring in Phillip Rivers to be your quarterback? That's disrespectful.
Uncle Phil.
Now,
Uncle
remember,
Phil.
Troupe, I know you hate it when you're compared to Cam Newton, but here you are with the hat swag trying to talk about disrespectful. It's Phil Rivers.
2004 was my draft class, and I love Phil, but here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. You get quarterbacks who are in shape and they just don't have an opportunity. You don't get a quarterback who is coaching his son, who his wife say, baby, you got to take this because at least we get 5 years more on the NFL healthcare plan. That's nonsense, man. That's nonsense.
So to your earlier point, though, as far as it being a supporting cast, I feel like it's great that people can see it now because we've been on this train. And Kyle, you can keep me honest. You can keep me honest. We've been on this train for at minimum 2 years, if not like 2.5 years, that C.J. Stroud and Trevor Lawrence were the same, and they were just, it was all a conversation of supporting cast and coaching.
Here's what I'll keep you honest. You were 2.5 years. I'm only 2 years because I was impressed with what he did his first year. And then going into the coming season, when they got rid of Laramie Tunsil, I knew Stroud was in trouble.
Like I've been consistently saying this since after CJ Stroud's rookie year, like the middle of his rookie year, and I'm like, dude, I said it after his sophomore year, the same thing, and I said he was no different than Trevor Lawrence's first year under Peterson. And folks in Houston came on this podcast in the chat and was pissed off at me for saying it, and then I said it again at the end of this last season, and folks in Jacksonville got mad at me for saying it. And that's how you know a take is right. That's how you know it's Asian way.
Team success does not mean individual success. That's why the whole team wins the Super Bowl, right? But when people be saying, "Hey, when you think about the Texans, what jumps out at you?" Oh man, Will Anderson, Danielle Hunter, Petrie. Remember when San Francisco went to the Super Bowl with Brock Purdy and they said he's the 10th best player on his team? They said it's 9 guys better than him. We talking about first team all pros, right? CJ Stroud was on a podcast and they was asking him about playing Ohio.
Oh, here we go with the pivot. Yep.
Hold on. Right? And he was talking about, we did this and we did that, we did this and we did that, we did that. And somebody said, man, Ohio State quarterback's been winning the Big Ten Player of the Year for years. What about that natty? And he got mad, right? He got mad when they asked him about the natty, right? And I said, if Ohio State got this and got that and got this and got that, why can't y'all win it? And he was like, well, man, things happen. And somebody goes, that's the best you got? Things happen, but here's why I say that. CJ Stroud goes to the Texans, right? DeMeco Ryans is a really, really good coach. You know how I know? Because they was playing their best football when he got hurt. You see how well they was playing when he was hurt?
I mean, listen, that's a sore topic on this podcast. That's when they came back from a 19-point deficit in the fourth quarter with Davis flipping Mills, bro. So, yeah, we're well aware of what DeMeco Ryans did with that crew.
I'm just saying, I'm going to keep on saying this about the AFC South. Trevor Lawrence, in my opinion, is the best quarterback in the AFC South when he wants to be. When he wants to be, it is undeniable. Trevor Lawrence has this thing that he'll do that people will go, I don't know if you guys do it. Y'all say, don't start that. You'll say, Trevor, don't start that. And what he did this year, he stayed out of his own way. Because I would want somebody to check. The last month and a half of the season, nobody was playing better than Trevor. The last month and a half, at one point he had 10 touchdown passes, no picks, something crazy, right?
I think you're about right. Yeah.
But you know how you know he's nice? If Brian Thomas Jr. is slated on paper to be by number 1, and he just fell off in 2025, and y'all still did what y'all did, because once again, his name will go unnamed, the number 1 receiver for the Titans. He wore number 0. I'm not even gonna say his name. All that money, running them super duper hard routes for what?
That money don't catch passes.
And all I'm saying is the sign of a good quarterback is when you say, take away my number 1, take away my number 2, take away my number 3. And I'm still, that's crazy. That's crazy.
So I want to be honest, because again, I hate being this guy, and I hate the fact that I think this way, but I'm always going to keep it a buck, and I'm always going to keep it honest with you. And that is a staple of a great quarterback, sure, but it's also a staple of a great coach. And I also want to say that, and I don't necessarily believe that Cam was given the second thing in that equation. Like, I don't know who he's going to be as a quarterback, but I can absolutely tell you I don't know that it necessarily had a great coach as far as the offensive coordinator was concerned.
You talking about Brian Callahan?
Yeah, man. Bro,
Brian Callahan, Brian Callahan got called by one team, and that was the Titans. And he said, yeah. Just like Brian Schottenheimer is the only person got called by that. Being
the only person calling you ain't necessarily a bad thing.
I'm not mad at that.
Were the only people that called Liam Cohen. And
no. Let me tell you something. If anybody ever wanted to be the head coach of the Jags, Liam Cohen, that stuff he was doing, that man went AWOL, ghost, turned his phone off, do not disturb. We know where you at, bro. We know you in Jacksonville. And look. Let me tell you what I respect about Liam Cohen. Liam Cohen said, they asked him where every head coach will latch his wagons to a quarterback. He said, I want Trevor. Sure. To me, I respect that because he goes, dude, he said, either I could stay here with Baker and keep winning, and then I'm going to be a head coach, or I could jump ship right now. And he said, dude, I want to go coach Trevor. And to me,
they gave him everything that he wanted. I want to go coach Trevor with my GM.
Hold on. I'm about to say, you got the GM
important part here. Yeah.
You got to getting the GM out of town. That is the greatest hat trick we've seen because nobody else could. Nobody else would get him out of there.
That boy had 9 lives. There's Trent Baalke, Lord Jesus,
aka Peter Baelish. Yes,
but it was always about just no different than with the coaching situation for Liam Cohen. It's exactly the same thing for Trevor Lawrence. It's always about the surroundings. So it's about the fact that you got your general manager, or it's about the fact that you got your head coach who actually is in your corner, or it's about the fact that you have the roster that works well for you, that's surrounding you, or a defense that's going to support you. And it was the same thing for CJ Stroud. Like it's always been about the surroundings and the fact that Trevor Lawrence had failed surroundings in most of his career. Like we're seeing all those same issues that we saw early on with Trevor Lawrence pop up with CJ Stroud. So when I say I think this division is going to be competitive, but I also we saw this coming a mile away because CJ Stroud's first 2 offensive coordinators was a Kyle Shanahan scheme and a Sean McVay scheme. That's literally his first 2 offensive systems in the NFL. Bobby Slovic and Nick Caley. Like, right? So you got 2 of the best offensive schemes in the NFL as your first 2 offenses. Like, and Trevor Lawrence got Urban Meyer. That ain't even that's playing Legos on a football field, bro.
That's a they're not talking about what happened to Trevor. People don't understand his introduction to the NFL. It ain't to call it a horror film. It's number one. Sometimes we give some of these coaches so much respect off of resumes that don't translate the way you act. College, man, you football royalty. Urban Meyer, I hope this isn't true. They said that they were playing the Rams, and he was like, "Who's this Aaron Donald dude?" And they was like, "Are you trying to troll me?" And here's the thing: you kicked a kicker, like you kicked him. I'm gonna say this for Trevor Lawrence to bounce back from Urban Meyer, to bounce back from Doug Peterson, and to still be salvageable as a player. I'm saying I still got enough confidence in me. Because let's face it, you the number 1 overall pick, man. Unless you win an MVP, the Super Bowls, people ain't gonna do nothing but say you ain't that good. You the number 1 overall pick. The guy has never lost in his life. He didn't lose in high school, didn't lose in college, and he gets to the Jags. And people say, how does he handle it? I said, if Trevor Lawrence get it together, it's gonna be ugly for the AFC South because most guys, they good, they don't have greatness in them. I don't think that's Trevor Lawrence. I don't think that's ever been. And a guy to me that has been his best friend is Travis Etienne. I don't understand why people don't appreciate the type of player he is and how consistent he is. They got rid of and all I'm gonna say is about the Jags is this, because I think sometimes when I'm looking at the Jags, right, and I'm looking at my Titans, you said something, Trav, that I agree with. I don't think the Titans want no Indy blueprint. They want the Jags blueprint. I'm gonna tell you why. Because
you can't be the Jags without making Jazz decisions. Let me be very clear about this.
No. I'm not talking about this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying.
You can't want lobster and shrimp casserole while you're making ramen money. I'm sorry, you can't. Like, your decisions need to match up with your wants, right?
So hold on. All lobster casserole ain't created equal now. I'm not getting my lobster where you getting yours from.
The Tennessee Titans cannot be over here hiring the Tennessee Titans cannot be over here making Trent Baalke decisions, hiring 2 retreads instead of trying to go with the young new that's going to actually build a system in the way that they deem it to be necessary in a modern NFL. You can't say I want the modern NFL results where I'm going with the old and the known. That ain't matching.
Hold on. You talking about seeing stuff a mile down the road? You saw what they did to freaking Rand Carthon, right? You knew what they was headed back to. You knew Rand Carthon, to me, was gonna go innovative. He was gonna go new, and they knew that. They went out and hired a dude who said, "Yeah, our model here is gonna be draft, get them ready." And retain. So draft, develop and retain. That's everybody.
They had to do that. Never had experience calling plays, and it's like what we talk. Like, he got hired on Jamar Chase and Joey Burr. Like Burrow. I'm sorry, that ain't the same. Liam Boone had experience, so we knew how good he was.
They don't want Indy. I'm gonna tell you why. If they wanted Indy, they don't get rid of Derrick Henry. If they wanted what Indy got, Derrick Henry is still a Titan. No, I think they do. Mm-hmm. We can say it on the show. The reason why I know they want what the Jacksonville Jaguars got is because they saying, "Hey, man, if our defense ain't good enough, we got to win with our quarterback. We have to. We have to." But but here's the thing: Kevin Byard, free agent. I think you make the call, right? You talking about a guy like Jalen Phillips or a guy like Bradley Chubb, because we going into last season they said, Jeffrey Simmons, if you that dude, give me double-digit sacks. Because you ain't got nothing else to look for. He got your double-digit sack, first team All-Pro. Mm-hmm. The Titans are saying to themselves, how we look against the Jags, because that's the team. I do a show called Winning a Division. And the reason why I call it that is this. The Titans ain't getting in no wild card. That's not happening. They gotta win the division. I'm not saying they're gonna win it. But when you win the division, you get to host a playoff game. If you don't think that matters, the Panthers could have beat the Rams. They didn't beat them, but they could have beat. And that's that. Listen, that catch on the sideline by that tight end was just. I mean, it was super nice. What I'm saying is, when I was in the AFC South, the best team was the Colts, bar none. Peyton Manning, Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison, Dallas Clark, cheat code. But they said you build your team to beat the best team in the division. And we wasn't talking about, we wasn't winning on AFC South. And the Jags was good then too. That's when everybody on the defense had dreads and they have, Marcus Stroud, Henderson, everybody. So what I'm saying is, when you think about the Titans are saying, what is the closest blueprint that we can emulate? I think that Cam Ward has big playability in him. Check. He ain't got no receivers. He got to get some receivers, right? You get him some receivers. Okay. Can you get somebody to match with Jeffrey Simmons? Yes. Can you get somebody on the back end? Yes. And can you compete in the AFC South? And the answer is yes. I'm not saying – I think the Titans are still a couple of years away, man. I really, really do. But the sleeping giant has been awakened, and that will be the Jags. I said the Jags are dangerous good, man, because Travon Walker.
You think to confirm, you think the Jaguars are like positioned to be the best team moving forward as far as the division is concerned, not Houston.
What? Yes. Hold on, Trav. This is why. De'Ami Brown, you don't even know he was over there. Travis Hunter got hurt. Brian Thomas is on a milk carton. And look what y'all did. Think about a team that loses all their number one receivers, either through injury, either not playing well. Parker Washington. You know how many people bought a number 11 jerseys in 2025 in Jacksonville? Parker Washington.
And then remember the quote is what
I'm saying is, man, look, I think y'all are the team to beat. I respect Houston's defense, and I respect what their team can do around the defense. I do not respect Indy for this reason. It took us 8-9 weeks for Daniel Jones to pop up and show this is who Daniel Jones. This dude walked away from a contract with the Giants. And he said, I'm going to Indy because I'm better than Anthony Richardson. That's why he went to Indy. That's why he went.
So
and
I spent a lot of time.
Travis, I'll even
go
comment
ahead.
in the comment from Reyes. It was an easy schedule to open with the Colts, whereas the Jags opened with the tougher schedule and then landed the plane smoother. While the Colts are trying to go through the comparative gauntlet. I think that's a factor too, Drew.
No, that's absolutely fair. The Jacksonville Jaguars went through the toughest part of their schedule, also with going through a lot of their injuries at the same time.
The NFC Championship game back to back. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and then the Colts went through the easiest part of their schedule, and then went through the hardest part, also going through that same similar injury situation, and they didn't navigate it as well as the Jaguars. I will agree with that, but I spend a lot of time every week in Indianapolis Colts spaces, in Houston Texans spaces. The only spaces I don't go into is Tennessee Titans because I don't need that kind of drama in my life.
Wait. The Jags went 13-4. Wait a minute.
Jags went 13-4, man.
Wait a minute. The Jags went 13. What are we? Trav, did you really ask me?
The matter is, I spend a lot of time in other fan bases because I also don't want to get drowned out in the noise of what I believe to be. I don't want to drink the Duval Till too much. So sometimes I try to be objective by listening to what other people saying and finding the middle ground, the real truth there. So all I say that to say is, all right, cool. I want to hear what other people are talking about. All right, dude, the Indianapolis Colts, they think that they just went through injuries at the wrong time. They think they just got the injuries at the wrong position. If they got Daniel Jones, they don't fumble the bag, and maybe they even hit 11 wins, and they're in the playoffs. Even if they're not the leading team in the playoffs, they're definitely in the playoffs and maybe making some noise. I fully understand, and I even get that. They feel like they fumbled the bag as far as this playoffs is concerned. Jacksonville Jaguars fans feel like they fumbled the bag because there's no way in hell they should have lost against the Buffalo Bills. And I absolutely agree with that.
Let's not talk about how many millions CJ Stroud cost himself in the playoffs.
CJ Stroud fumbled. They feel like they fumbled the bag.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Do you know that 8-9 won the NFC South? 8-9 won the South NFC. Yep. No. Listen to me. Listen. It was a 3-way tie. And the Panthers just happened to beat. What I'm trying to tell y'all is this: until proven otherwise, the worst trade you ever seen in your life is Sauce Gardner. It better pan out, because right now that thing is looking sad. What I am saying is this, Trav, you know how long you've been watching your Jags when they go 13-4. You go, I don't want to. What?
Yeah. I
don't want to do that because here's the thing. Just say they take a slight step back. They go 11-6, 12-5. That's still winning it. Yeah. That double-digit wins used to be enough to win in the division. What I'm saying about the Jags is, I'm gonna keep saying this. People saying, "Wait a minute, they went 13-4." Yeah, who was their best receiver in 2025? Parker Washington. That's their best. Not Brian Thomas. Nope. Not De'Ami Brown. Nope. Not Travis Hunter.
The Jaguars end with any 1,000-yard receivers? I don't think they ended with any 1,000-yard receivers. Am I mistaken?
But to me, the sign of a. You know how I know that matters? There was a quarterback in Green Bay. They never drafted receivers for him in the first round because they thought he don't need them because he's good enough to win it. If you don't think number 1 overall picks, they say, man, you should be good enough, right? What do they say about Josh Allen? Man, he don't need no number 1. He Josh Allen. Go and get him Keon Coleman and all those type of guys, right? Trevor Lawrence in 2025 was disrespected by the National Football League, because when Parker Washington came, I said, now y'all did get old boy Myers. Y'all did get him. And that was a great pickup from the Raiders. I mean, I thought that was a good pickup. But what I'm saying is, I'm just being a box score final record watching. And I'm saying, I'm a casual AFC South, and I go, what? I'm in a restaurant. I say, whoa. I go, the Jags went 13-4, and somebody go, yes. The Jags lost 4 games. I'm just saying.
But I'm with you. I'm with you, and I'm happy that you are a bigger part of the Duval devout than even I am, because you are more excited about that 13 wins than I am right now. And I was very excited about it, but also they lost the first game. And I have high standards. I'm gonna be real with you.
No.
I always have high standards.
I'm not gonna give them that pass. But this is what I think.
But it was at a time that it wasn't expected. It was at a time that the roster wasn't where it needed to be, and because of that, it's an absolutely it's worth celebrating while also pulling back with the context and knowing where it is, because that ain't the end goal. If that makes sense to me,
fellas, I got to jump in here real quick before it gets stale. I find it very interesting that Troupe comes in here and talks about the Sauce Gardner trade being what it was and the potential flop that he's talking about for a cornerback, when Travis and I out here in these streams and these social media streets have been listening to people talk schmack on what the Jags traded up for to get a air quotes corner. I say air quotes because it's a two-way player in Travis Hunter. I find that fascinating on this show after Travis and I talked about it this past weekend about that trade being risky, and ain't no one talking about it but Ben Troupe here on the Duval Dive.
Let me tell y'all something.
Sauce was all pro. Sauce was proven certified though. Sauce was proven certified all pro.
I know what you're doing, Trav. Let me go ahead and do what us content creators do. When it's a player of Sauce Gardner's caliber, we're looking at what I've done. That's behind me. That's my resume. I'm a 2-time first team All Pro. I get it, right? I get it. But you know how you see a car online? That thing look good, but I got to go see it in person, don't I? I go, whoa, what's this right here? See, when I get up close to it, because the same reason this before I forget, the only reason why the Jags lost in the first round because they give too much respect to Josh Allen, dude.
Yep,
Josh Hines Allen. Let me tell you something, bro. I'm just saying, for me, that game, that the same way everybody thought that the Buffalo Bills were going to coast to the Super Bowl because they didn't have to play all these players, the Jags, listen, I watch you go up against Justin Herbert, have 5 picks in the first half and beat him. That's why I know Justin Herbert ain't no real top 10 quarterback. I don't want to hear nothing else about no Justin Herbert. I don't want to hear it. I'm sick of that.
Respect for Joe Wow and Rashawn Slater is noted, by the way.
I knew it was coming.
All I'm saying is this.
Listen,
I didn't watch a lot of Jags games this year. I'm not gonna lie. But do you remember in 2024 and 2023, every time it's a home game, they show the people in the pool? Why they didn't do that in 2025? Why not?
They won't be doing in the 2026 because they look like they already told them pools up right now. So
hey, think about this. It took 2025, you know what I'm saying, for Mr. Khan to say, hey, bro, get them pools up out of here, bro. Get them out. Because it's a level of disrespect to say, yes, it makes sense. But do Miami got one? No. Do Tampa got one? No. Do Florida State and Florida? No. I want you to come to the game and see them dudes on the field, not well, I just got this bikini. You don't get your, but no. And all I'm telling y'all is,
you got to calm down trying to get people out of bikinis on the game day. We would not stand for that.
That's not what I meant. I'm saying when it comes, y'all, Travis, let me tell you how much the Jacksonville Jaguars have changed your mind. A 13-4 season, you go, it's cool. No. Think about this.
Drink shirt for the record.
No. Think about this. And when we was talking about before the season, right? You was like, I was like, how you think the Jag? I think the Jag gonna do. You was real optimistic. When they go 13-4, to you was like, I like it, but it didn't impress me. Like, if Patrick Mahomes then went 13-4, they'll be like, hey man, they bad. I told y'all that. It all depends on who's doing and how they doing. If they beat Buffalo and they go to Denver and it's a classic, people say, hey man, I kind of like that. But because you lose in the first round, people will go, yeah, man, 13-4 doesn't really look. It's a combination of the postseason and the regular season, not just. So I get it. But y'all lost one more game.
I was only ever at the spot where I felt like if the Jaguars lose, I'm okay with it, but I need them to lose against a team that I knew they were better than. They didn't lose against a team that they were better than, or I thought that the team had a legitimate angle on them as far as the roster was concerned, or whatever it may be. That's not what happened here. I thought the Jaguars were the better team looking at the rosters.
They
I thought
are.
the Jaguars were the better team
else.
looking at the coaches. I simply thought the Jaguars coaches probably looking at that game on replay every 2 weeks this offseason, like, dang, I know we messed that up. Like, we would have won it 9 times out of 10.
Hold on. That would be like, just say we had they ain't gonna happen. Just say they had a content creator award show, right? Just say they do. They got award shows, everything. And just say y'all, we all in the category for winning best, sports podcasts. No matter who wins, if it's not you, you're gonna be like, I mean, they cool, but they ain't. And you know why you gonna say that?
Yeah.
Because people will say, I mean, why do you podcast? Do you think you better than them? You go, it's not that I think I'm better than them. I don't think they better than me. It's like I respect them. To me, that's how the Jags supposed to think. Hey, man, I respect Josh Allen, but I don't think he's better than me.
Yeah.
Like, and to me,
and then the team that beat him the next week did it exactly the way we broke down in very great detail that the Jaguars should have played him. In my head, I'm like,
well, also, let's be real. Josh Allen did not play the same kind of game against the Broncos that he did against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Because they took the lead and made him do the things that the Jaguars didn't take the points. So they left the points on the field, which didn't allow Josh Allen to feel comfortable not having to take chances.
Is, unlike the Seattle Seahawks that won the Super Bowl, Liam Cohen didn't take the points the way that Mike McDonald and the Seattle Seahawks did throughout playoffs, and that made the difference. And I think that's an element of that confidence. But let me take this opportunity to transition into this and pull this closer more to the question at hand, leading into the podcast. Can the AFC South raise the bar to be the best division in the NFL? And I don't think there's a question. Call me a homer if you want as a member of the 49er faithful, but it's hard pressed for me to think that there's a team out there in the past season that's better than the NFC West. I don't know that that'll happen this coming season because God only knows what will happen with John Matthew Stafford's health. The 49ers trying to come back to health is a whole other question. I get it.
But that is what we're asking. What this coming season?
Let me land the plane, Travis. Now, come on. So here's where I'm going. The Titans need to be compared to the Cardinals at the bottom of their division.
Good God.
Third, I think the Titans have hope, believe it or not. The Niners and the Colts, that's where I say, good God. The Rams and the Texans.
That's fascinating.
Other than the quarterback, I can see the argument, oh, wait, they are much better on offense as well. And then the Seahawks compared to the Jaguars. When you go top to top and down the line like that, 2 of the teams are better at 1 and 4, possibly, if they retool correctly. And that's the thing about being a Super Bowl champion. It's real hard to retool, where meanwhile you got F them picks Jimmy Stones as the GM. There's an opportunity for the Jags to get potentially better on paper than the Seattle Seahawks, especially having learned the lessons of playing them directly here at Everbank. Now, I don't know what the Texans are going to do to try to compete with the Rams and the Colts and the Niners. Sure. But
the Colts and the Niners feel close, though. The Colts and the Niners are 2 teams that religiously stay injured.
No,
there are 2 teams that religiously stay injured, and they won't want to run the ball.
And all that. Now I know you front.
Hold on. So if I'm following, and I'm following. So now, what we're saying about the Jags is, do they have staying power? Like, do we have? Here we go. We are the best team in the division, right? When we talking about, the Houston Texans, right? Being compared to the Rams, that means that my quarterback play got to go way up. The quarterback play got to go up. Indy and San Francisco are similar because the injuries hurt them bad. The only difference is one of them still stayed on course. San Francisco still stayed on course, but only because they dealt with in 2025 what they dealt with in 2024. They dealt with the injury bug 2 years in a row. They were just able to keep it going. Here's the thing about the Titans, though.
I heard you say they're better in another.
Yeah, I'm like, the San Francisco's an AARP, and like that's all that is, bro. They say.
Hold on for a second.
You're right, Travis.
I mean, if the Titans gonna be the Cardinals, Cam Ward gonna be like a bigger Kyler Murray. They got to be irrelevant. Wait a minute. You know why that makes sense? The Titans got their first win of the season in Arizona. Now, if you saw that game, it was ugly. The Cardinals shouldn't have lost. They should not have lost. But you know why? You know why I think that could work. This is why I think it could work. In order for them to be the best division of football, you got to get 3 in the playoffs. You got to get 3 in, right? And that's the hardest thing to do in football, to get 3 in. Wow, Colts 49ers, mind blown. I will say this. I hope to God that my Titans aren't like the Cardinals, man, because the Cardinals. When people talk about the Browns, like how irrelevant they are, and people don't talk about the Cardinals like that, I go, you should. The Cardinals,
Fitzgerald.
The Cardinals can't wait to wear all red, like the Texans can't wait to wear all red. It's just all red. The helmet, the jersey, the socks, the shoe. The Cardinals have a really, really nice indoor facility. They bring the real grass in.
Marvin, we really got to go to the field because we can't talk about the roster. Jesus.
Yeah, Marvin Harrison.
I've been there on 2 occasions. He's right. It's a lovely
Marvin
facility.
Harrison Sr.
Bro.
Marvin Harrison Sr. spoke and said, I don't like how they using my son. People's like this. Nope. What's your son's name? Marvin Harrison Jr. Sir, with all due respect, yeah. He's your son, right? Yeah, you ain't really looking at what we looking at. And once again, Marvin Harrison, Brian Thomas Jr., same draft, right? Very, very similar fall off because rookie seasons don't Marvin Harrison have a good rookie season. It don't translate. And for me, if the Titans get a real number one, a solid number one, who he's actually in the stat sheet every week, like he's catching the ball every week, the Titans got a shot to be a good bottom feeder. I'm trying to say it right.
I will meet you there. I will meet you here.
I'll agree.
Yeah. Like I will meet you here. The Tennessee Titans have a reasonable shot to be a very competitive 500 or hovering around 500 team with Magneto at head coach and on the defensive side and the juggernaut on the other one, Brian Dable. Because they have a guy who can really lead an offense. He's shown that with Josh Allen, so maybe he can do the same thing with Cam Moore. I will give you that. I will meet you there because, again, on the defensive side of things, Robert Saleh generally will do well, and Trevor Lawrence has generally not played well against that type of defense. Even when they won against San Francisco earlier, what was it? Wasn't that this year? Yeah, am I crazy? Yeah, earlier this year, he didn't have the greatest game. They scored points, but it wasn't a great game overall for Lawrence. So, like overall, I'm looking at like, all right, cool. I can see the argument to be made to say they might have a legitimate shot at making some noise, maybe not like playoffs or anything like that, but just being a freaking pest in the side of a lot of these teams in this division, making it a competitive division top to bottom. I'm okay with that because we already know what the Colts can be if they stay injury free.
Yeah, but you see what your Jags did? You see what your Jags did in one year? Your Jags got people saying, can they be the best division in football? And it ain't cutting no Texans because they've been in the playoffs 3 years in a row. Your Jags in 1 year saying, hey man, let's can they be the NFC West? What? Can they be the NFC West? And here's at first you go, absolutely not. Then you think about it. Wait. Can they? because think about this. Think about this, Trav. Think about what we both just did. First, 2024, absolutely not. Don't come over here with that nonsense. But 2025, you go, wait. See, now they're 13-4. Looks really, 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 really impressive. Because you're saying 13-4. The Texans, we left them for dead. They crawled back and they made the playoffs. Indy just fell off. Indy did what we thought San Francisco was going to do with the injuries. And here's the thing about, once again, can they, if the AFC South becomes the best division in football, my question is always the same. Now, can that whole division have staying power? Because people don't. Can I ask another question that we haven't approached, we haven't even talked about, we haven't thought about? Is there a possibility that the Texans fall off? We're talking about the Texans being great.
What if the Titans do good enough to where if the Texans fall off and the Titans are the second best team in this division? You can't rule that out.
Offensive struggles, with the quarterback not being able to find the right play in this Sean McVay scheme, where he sends them to the line of scrimmage with 2 to 3 plays every play, and he has to find the right one. They're struggling as far as the roster is concerned, as far as the offensive line, and that's normally one of the slowest positions to develop. So they're definitely going to have to invest there heavily. There are questions to be asked there, like right, and they like what was it? Sideline Sarah, Houston Texans, fan podcast or whatever you want to call it, talks about the fact that the Texans have heavily invested on the defensive side of the ball, which is why they're having the results that they're having on the defensive side of the ball. Meanwhile, they're 31st in the league on cap hits on offense. So like they haven't done much outside of this past draft on investments on the offensive side of the ball. So the question still remains. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Let me tell you what you're trying to avoid. And I waited. All right. Let's talk about the quarterback position and what they have in the NFC West. And let's talk about what the AFC South has. Does Trevor Lawrence have MVP ability in him? Yeah. I'm not saying, does he have it in him? Yeah. Because you got to compare the quarterbacks. Could Trevor Lawrence do what Sam Darnold just did? Yeah. I believe he can do that.
Sure. Yeah.
But Trevor Lawrence did it, and he don't have a JSN. Right? Can CJ Stroud do what Matthew Stafford just did? No. Nope. I don't think he could do that. Because Matthew Stafford got a Puka. Right? That's stuff. And Devontae Smith. Devontae. Yeah. Here's the thing. Can Cam Ward be Brock Purdy? He better be able to be. But let me tell you what Brock Purdy got that no one wants to talk about. He got C-Mac. Christian McCaffrey. Hold on. Christian McCaffrey was first team all-purpose back. He was second team all-purpose. He was second team all-pro running back. He was also comeback player of the year. All I'm telling you is Trevor Lawrence has Travis Etienne, and that's a guy that can help keep the balance in the offense. Can Cam Ward be Brock Purdy if he has help? I believe yes. Now, people say you got to go get a tight end, right? Not George Kittle, but you got to go get a tight end, right? I believe there's going to be some tight end free agents that come on the market that they can. But the one thing that Cam Ward doesn't have that he needs, he got to have a receiver. Because when you got
you say, can somebody be Brock Purdy? Can Cam be Brock Purdy? And in my head, yes. I'm like, well, anybody can be Brock Purdy if you're in that offense. Because that's the scheme. Purdy.
And by the way, the O-line disrespect throughout this show, not even mentioning Trent Williams and just glossing over the lack of protection that Cam Ward had as a member of the Titans, even leaving a Mario Cristobal offense with the Miami Hurricanes and what they had a bunch of seniors in front of him that were just wreckers in the trenches.
Right. So Kyle is the 49er specialist here. So he knows about that. It's offense. So from my perspective, I'm sitting there like, no. That if you're asking, can Cam be a Brock Purdy? Sure. If it's not, as soon as you show me a Shanahan that's calling plays for Cam Ward, because Shanahan's this goes back to that CJ Stroud conversation when he was under Bobby Slovic, because Shanahan's offense is a great first offense because it often tells you to trust the play at the line of scrimmage. You're generally not audibling, you generally don't having all these canned plays at the line of scrimmage, and you're often throwing blind. So when folks don't know what I mean by throwing blind, I mean like you're normally throwing a lot of screens, throwing a lot of ISO routes toward the sideline. You're throwing a lot of play action look routes. And the look routes is when you're doing a play action and immediately you do a quick glance to make sure that the right receiver is clearing right behind that linebacker, and you threaten it right before they're even open. You're trusting that the guy is going to be there. And they've done that religiously. Brock Purdy's talked about that in multiple interviews, how it's kind of one of those things where you're just throwing it in with trust. You're throwing it with anticipation, and you're trusting the scheme is going to make it work, basically. From that perspective, I'm like,
But this
yes,
is where we need to
Cam Ward can be Brock.
We need to transition to this because you mentioned Brock Purdy, both of you, Troupe and Travis. Here's the thing. There's a gentleman out there who said his inspiration to improve himself as a quarterback was Brock Purdy, and that was one Sam Darnold. And I think that needs to be the target in Tennessee for Trevor Lawrence, whoever it is right now. Because, well,
Great.
more, and I think more Cam Ward than for Trevor, because at this point, Trevor has the bag. And, you know, you're not going to necessarily go out and find a free agent to do all this. You have to happen to have draft amazing, as the Seahawks did this past season as well, which is a very tough ask. And moreover, in the Titans case, they got the defensive coach, much like also the Seahawks have, which apparently was supposed to be unable to win and now has a Super Bowl ring and was playing across from another defensive guy, albeit because of a crap road through the playoffs and the easiest schedule in half a decade, but details. Those situations, I think, is where the Titans need to start. And by the way, the Texans got to the playoffs with that same defensive guy and that same concept. Right. They just need to find somebody less capable to screw it up. So the way you compete with the NFC West, Brock Purdy isn't your blueprint. It's Sam Darnold and that surrounding. This is the point I love that you made about Travis Etienne. He ain't never going to compare to CMC, but he is going to be that well-rounded back that can get the multiple targets, do multiple things in different dimensions, just like transition here. This young man they got right behind him, who's also doing amazing things as, what is it, a 3rd round pick, 4th round pick? I forget, Travis, the West Virginia kid. What
the West Virginia kid that was a 3rd round pick, 4th round pick behind Travis Etienne, is what he's talking about?
Yeah.
Bashaw Tootin?
Yeah, Bashaw Tootin, exactly. I'm trying to hand you the ball.
I was confused what we were talking about. I was playing catch up, brother. I'm over here.
The punchline is having that versatile weapon that can run and pass, not to CMC's extent, but to be a versatile weapon, having a tight end that knows how to block. Again, no disrespect, Troupe, but blocking tight ends are a thing that seem to be doing pretty well for the Jags, for example, you know, and then having a defense that can handle the business. And that's the thing where the Jags are lacking, is that defensive tackle spot. We've talked about that at length, and that's where they need to catch up to the Seattle Seahawks. But that's the thing. You talk about Brock Purdy. I don't think you blueprint there. I think you blueprint not even at the Rams, because I don't think anybody can be John Matthew Stafford in the
most coaches have shown themselves not to be Kyle Shanahan, has shown themselves not to be Sean McVay, have shown themselves not to be these top guys. So then if you're asking for a guy to be Brock Purdy, and then I'm you know what, you dang right, he can be Brock Purdy.
But if anybody's going to be a Shanahan, it would be Liam Cohen. So let's not take that completely off the table.
Right, but it wouldn't be Brian Dable, was my point.
On the quarterback than it is in this instance. You made the coach point. I get where you're going with Dable and all that. Listen, I don't know why he even got a job. No disrespect, Titans fans. But, you know, after he stole the Coach of the Year award from Doug Peterson, winning with what he did, you know, that's a whole other conversation. It should be the Saquon Barkley Award. And we saw that come to fruition when Indiana Jones looked awful before he became Indiana Jones. I said what I said. Now you got me preaching, gentlemen. Damn.
Can't say the man stole the award from Doug Peterson, but also saying Doug Peterson need to get the paint.
Correct.
We got to pick a lane.
Two things can be true at the same time.
The only way the AFC South can be the best division, one, they got to get 3 in. They got to get 3 in the playoffs. And Cam Ward is going to have to make a quantum leap in 2026 because, like I said, stats, you know, like Bill Parcells says, and I agree with him. Stats tell you a lot. But, you know, I mean, it shows a lot, but not everything, right? And I think the thing about it is Sam Darnold has shaken up the NFL because everybody wrote him off, being the 3rd overall pick behind Saquon Barkley and Baker Mayfield. He's been on a bunch of teams, but I'm going to keep saying this. Mike McDonald said, if I'm going to bring over Sam Darnold, game managers win Super Bowls, people. Game managers win Super Bowls. So all I'm saying is when it comes to what you want from your quarterback, y'all still on here talking about what the Jags lack, what the Jags need. They won 13 games. And the guys that was
supposed to won 15.
Oh, here we go.
No. But see, hold on. But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. The sign of a real, you know, analyst, columnist of a Jags, you know, of a Jaguars team is no matter what they do, it's like this. You can go to an event, you dress to the nines, food is, you know, and you're gonna say it was good, right? No, it was good. but not it was good, however. Because let me tell y'all something. The winner of the NFC South went 8-9. I'm trying to tell y'all these are different worlds that we're living in. And I'm telling y'all, if the Titans
are something serious.
But Trav, think about what you said. If the Titans are the bottom feeder and they're almost 500, that means you got 3 double-digit winning teams. You got 10 and 7 and 11 and 6, which means if that happens in 2026, I'm going to say Trevor Lawrence is the reason why the Texans were good. Because they was like, hey, dude, if we don't go to the playoffs, they're talking about firing DeMeco Ryans in year 3, and he's been to the playoffs twice, right? Daniel Jones is the reason why that whole coaching staff is still together in Indy. They won't get rid of that whole coaching staff, whole thing. So so basically, we're saying, can the Titans win 5 more games in 2026? Because they won 3. And that's going to be a quantum leap because no matter what, Trevor Lawrence, get to say this, when you got a defense, I don't have to win it. I just can't lose it. That's how Sam Darnold plays. He says, dude, I've never really cared about a regular season MVP. Why? Because the regular season MVP are the NFL honors. They're not playing for the Super Bowl, right? Correct. And all I'm saying is, if Cam Ward can get a supporting cast, and he can listen for 3 wins. If Cam Ward is from 3 wins to 9 wins, that's what Bryce Young did in 2025. That's what he did. So that's the goal. That's the goal for Cam Ward. That's the thing, though, Trav. If the Titans do that, and they the bottom feeder, which I hate, I don't even like saying that, but if they are the bottom feeder, that means
they are.
Not only they are. That means that the Jags are what, 15-2? You see what I'm saying? Like, look at what the Jags are gonna have to be, because you're talking about 15-2. You're talking about 14-3. You're talking about, which means that, hey, are the Jags ready to have the best record in the AFC? That's what we're really saying. Are they ready to do that?
Yes, that's the expectation.
If that happens in 2026, I'm gonna say this right now. If that happens in 2026, that is gonna be really, really bad for the rest of the league, because Travon Walker is still on his rookie deal. Travis Etienne is still on his rookie deal. Travis Hunter ain't even played. What?
If Etienne piece next year, he won't be on his rookie deal anymore.
Okay,
he's a pending free agent. Yeah.
I also happen to work as I work for the Common Sense Competition Committee. I haven't started it yet. I work for CSCC. Let me tell y'all something. Certain things, not even Mr. Khan can mess up. If Travis Etienne ain't wearing teal next year, I'm gonna just drive down to Jacksonville. I just need to speak to Mr. Khan. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna give y'all some free game. I'm gonna tell you who you add, and I don't think you got to give him a lot of money, but he gonna want some money. Every running back needs a Batman. Needs a Robin. There's a running back in Carolina by the name of Rico Dowdle. He ain't gonna be in Carolina.
I'm just about to say it. Let's go.
Yeah, look. That man was balling. Chuba Herbert was hurt. Chuba Herbert come back, and they want to give him the rock. Rico was like, "Oh, so y'all don't really?" And I'm telling, look. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, if the Jags have the best record in the AFC, and both the Texans and Indy both go to the playoffs, the Super Bowl winner is coming out of the AFC South. One of those are going to win it. I guarantee one of them will win it. One of them going to win it.
So this alone, gentlemen, this exploration showed us that perhaps the AFC South being the best division next year isn't as far-fetched as it seemed when you may have seen it in the thumbnail. And that was the whole reason I even brought up the NFC West, was to set the table. You gentlemen took us to that place. But listen, this is one of those where we could fill a damn morning show on terrestrial radio with this group, but we got to call this particular one tonight. Ben Troupe, please tell the world where you could be found. Let the world know what you're up to, my good friend.
They can find me at BenTroupe84 on Instagram, BenTroupe84 on Facebook. I think I'm at Troupe Benjamin on X. I might have got hacked again. I don't know. Listen, winning the division on Monday nights, the fan in the end on Wednesdays. Still got 84 reasons no wetters in the fall on Wednesdays. Got a show that I'm gonna have you guys on. Me and my partner, I'm gonna have a show called College Football Is. And we're not talking about the games. We're just talking about the backstories, all these colleges and players and coaches and traditions, because the reason why these youngers now don't have no respect for the present is because they think they the best. They don't think the past was as good as them or couldn't do what they was doing. And I'm an unk now. I ain't an OG yet. I ain't old enough to be no OG, but I am an unk. I'm going to be doing that and just going to get to have some fun. There's going to be some fan bases out there that I'm already prepared. Because we're gonna be talking about, perception versus reality. Like, I'm gonna give you a quick example, like Oregon.
Ooh.
The perception is y'all got Nike. The reality is y'all can't win the big one. Am I lying? I'm just saying. So we're gonna be having fun with that. I mean, it's a chance to just talk about college football. I think college football is the best brand of football. I think the NFL is where the best players in the world play. That's just my opinion. It's just an opinion.
Yeah.
Opinions can't be wrong, even if it ain't a fact. But just having fun, man. Enjoying this being a content creator, because we are where people get their news from now. I mean, people take what we say to the bank. People coming up to me say, "Oh, Ben, I got people coming up to me during the season say, you think the Jags gonna be good?" No, think it's when I don't know. Yes, they're gonna be good. Leave me alone. Don't ask me anymore. I'm not giving all this Jags love, but. Travis, I got to say this to you, sir. If 13-4 don't move you, what is 15-2 going to do? Because then it's like, all right, they're getting better. Because it's hard to improve on 13 wins.
If they go 15-2 and don't win the Super Bowl, he's going to say they should have won the Super Bowl.
The end of season record don't move me ever. I want to be honest about it. I want to be very clear. I want to set appropriate standards. It's not about the record. It's not about how many wins you get. It's about what it looked like. I can tell a winning team by how it looks. No different than I said this to Kyle last week. Like it ain't about how it like. It's not about. It's about how it tastes. If that makes sense. It's like somebody who can't cook. They can't tell you how it was built, how it was made, but they can tell you.
No. You see what a year does though. Like this time last year, getting ready for 2025 season, it's we got Liam Cohen. How is he gonna do? Now we got reporters congratulating him after the season, and she got to have security. And God forbid a reporter just congratulate a coach that's a beat writer. It's just crazy. But in 2 years, if the Titans do what I think they can do, and they go 8-9, and we got 3 double-digit winning teams in the AFC South, and they go to the Super Duper. Sports Center gonna be ESPN gonna say, "Hey, Ben, man, what y'all boys trying to do, man? Y'all over here predicting the future." I go, "No, man. Real football is played in places that no one likes. Don't give me Green Bay. Don't give me Philly. Don't give me them usual suspects. We got players that took the bus before from Houston to Jacksonville just to play the game because they didn't want to pay for a plane ticket. Y'all don't know what this is, man. The Titans said, since we're never going to a Super Bowl, let's at least get a stadium to host one. They ain't going to one. Not no more. So I'm just saying, and I'm looking forward to seeing that stadium that y'all getting down there in Jacksonville, man. I know what y'all doing. I know what y'all doing. Trying to, because the Jags was like, you really think we could let the Titans have the best stadium in the AFC South? Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, listen, I appreciate you getting up on the pews and preaching to the choir as such there, Ben. I appreciate that. Personal champion, Travis T. Holmes. Tell the world where you can be found, my friend.
Man, you already know. Like, you can find me here. Let's start there. I mean, bigcatcountry.com. Obviously, if you want your written content, and we're always doing some great things. I was very happy with my Travis Hunter article discussing why he's still a math changer.
By the way.
I mean, that Matt Harmon bump on the socials did wonders for this, for one United Negro family that I'm aware of, mine specifically. But yeah, man. No, it was a good time. It was a summary basically of our podcast that we did last week. So if you haven't read it, go and check it out, please. I mean, I don't even care if you don't like it. Just go and click the link. Just click the link. That's we're gonna start that. I don't care if you like my writing or not. Click the link. How about that? And just like if you love the podcast, please click the like button. Please subscribe. Visit us on the X. Visit us on the Duval Dive TikTok, and find me on my social, Travis D. Holmes, on basically everywhere for the most part. And please let the people know, sir, where can you be found at?
Of course, I am Kyle Nash, the student of the game. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky at the SOTG. Find me on Facebook as the student of the game. Check out my work covering UCF and the Orlando Magic as well. Of course, most importantly, covering your Jacksonville Jaguars, and today in particular the AFC South. So, for the incomparable Ben Troupe reminding people that weddings in the fall are complete trash, for my good friend, personal champion Travis T. Holmes, and all you Duval divers that were in the comments, keeping things light and happy among everything else, and you Duval devout. This is Kyle Nash, the student of the game. Until next time, everyone, class dismissed.